Good morning, Fractal Effects team. Before we get started, please make sure you read the disclosure on our website, fractaleffects.com. It's in the footer section, just in the middle of the morning setup. If you're following along with us today, make sure you're doing a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So just jump right into it. We have a downside expansion model, and then we broke and had a double break to the downside of the manipulation range. Now we're looking for, there's the only fair value gap that was left. So there's our NYC fair value gap. 1 minute away for range formation. We just hit the NWOG for NAS. And we're sitting in a 4-hour fair value gap here on US 500, but it has not hit NAS, the NWOG yet. We got all this consolidation. I'm going to call this a clean PO3. It's not, these candles are not really lined up unless you take the entire block here, in which case it has not been broken. So it's too big of a range for me to take PO3 on. But our bias is still bearish until otherwise, until we get possibly a bullish confirmation. No foothold created. Even after a double break, remember we retrace back to one of our key zones, which it barely did. So it barely came back to the blue zone. But then we wait for a 5M bearish fair value gap to be created. We have not seen that. We could, there's the NYC fair value gap. But just consolidating right now. No setup here, no NYC fair value gap created as far as US 500. And we're stuck right at that blue zone, just wicking. Another indication that this thing wants to push down, but it's late in the game. We're just going to wait for that confirmation. Just want to see what it's doing on the 1M. So the other thing that let us know that this was going to be a downward push was we hit our DSD high, created a 5M fair value gap, tapped it, and took out the bottom of the range. So once again, on the other side of the NYC fair value gap, this might give us our 5M. Well, actually, there's a liquidity void might be forming in there. I'm not sure it's going to stick, but we'll see. Still no 5M bearish fair value gap created. As a strong rejection though. off of the NYC fair value gap, the inverse. This could be the driving force that pushes this market down. We'll see. Still waiting for that bearish confirmation. Now we're starting to get more of a PO3 setup here. Let's just take the candle bodies. Small range. We have 4 candles here. So we could get a reversal. We're sitting inside of a 4-hour with the consequence encroachment of an NWOG. Let's see if this is the false move. Finally tapping that blue zone now. I'd like to see an immediate rebalance to the downside now, if this thing is going to come down without a bullish confirmation sticking. 4 seconds left. Let's see. What is it going to give us? There you go. There's your bullish confirmation. Let's see what this next candle does. So we've already had an early retracement. We had to pretty much rip through the EMAs. Let's see if it leaves this 5M fair value gap open. Two minutes, 49 seconds left. I'm not that interested in buying this market. We hit the DSD high. We had a downside expansion model. We've hit the NWOG, which again could cause that reversal point, but we had a double break to the downside. And after all this consolidation, this could just be a pullback, broke the range to then push back down. So let's see what happens. 52 seconds left. So we left this big 5M fair value gap open. See if the market wants to retrace back into it. So we retrace back to the blue zone. So they're playing both sides right now. We have that bullish confirmation. We have a bounce off the midpoint of the NWOG. We're also sitting inside of a 4-hour fair value gap. And at the same time, we have a double break to the downside. We're bouncing off the blue zone. And usually we'd like to see the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle be a continuation candle, which would mean that it wants to push down. We do have a power of 3 set up here. This is getting more and more violated by the minute. Still just stuck at that blue zone. Yeah, I'm not interested in buying this market, even if it ends up going up. There's too much confluence here. This is a 50-50. Four minutes left. Still no retracement back to this fair value gap. I'll outline it. I don't want to make too many boxes here. Two minutes left. So on the 1M, let's see if we're getting a 1M bullish fair value gap. We've left a lot of 1M bullish gaps here. Let's see if it wants to retrace deeper or if it wants to push up from here. We're pretty much just calling the ticker here, but as mentioned before, I'm not interested in this market today. We're looking for 70% or higher probabilities. Those are the trades we want to invest our time and energy into. You got to be able to recognize them. Here, as mentioned before, I'm not liking how this is 50-50. No 1M bullish fair value gap created yet. No foothold created on the 5M. Fisher 20 EMA. Let's see if it digs in deeper. We're in the process of potentially creating a 5M bearish fair value gap. That would follow in suit with that PO3 I was talking about. We're now back into this consolidation box. Could go either way here. Just because you get a bullish confirmation, you don't blindly jump in. Still driving down, still giving more cadence to that PO3, and potentially a downward push. This could end in a false state today. Now let's see if this 5M bearish fair value gap sticks. We've already violated it here, that 5M bullish fair value gap. Closed well below it. Two minutes left. We want to see this 5M. If this 5M bearish fair value gap sticks, then that will most likely lead to a false day. Let's see. Still plenty of time though for it to fill in. Getting some long wicks here off the NYC fair value gap. Just going to take a look at the 4-hour model real quick. Still playing that 50-50. Got 26 minutes left. Let's see if it gives us anything here. So since we have a bullish confirmation, I can't sell this market. And as mentioned before, just because of all the confluence that I'm seeing, I don't want to buy this market. So this is not one that I'm interested in, but we'll still call the ticker tape just to show you that you can still do this play by play and decide for yourself. This is as muddy as it gets. They gave us a rejection off this 5M bullish fair value gap, and then at the same time they left open this 5M bearish fair value gap, which falls in alignment with the downward push when you get a double break. Remember, we retrace back to one of our key zones, and then we get a 5M bearish fair value gap entry. Left open on both. This one's already violated its 5M. I'm getting more of a bearish feel still. Just so we can see that fair value gap. mark this out as well. Coming back up into this 5M bearish now, most likely. So as mentioned before, since we've already violated the 5M bullish fair value gap here, I get more of a feeling it wants to push down. I have to wait and see. We're also sitting right at a blue zone. US 500 now also back at that 5M. Now let's see if it pushes down from here, if it goes up. In order for this to push down, we'd have to see some kind of either an immediate rebalance or a 1M bearish fair value gap. Otherwise, I could cut right through. Let's see. Yeah, either way, not interested today. They're playing both sides. We only got 17 minutes left in our stream. This is how elegant this algorithm is, the one that controls the markets. It even muddies the waters for people who have been watching it forever. People that like to consider themselves experts, even for them, it likes to muddy the waters. For the average retail trader, sure, support resistance, easy to trick them. But when it's tricking somebody who's been watching it for years and has a strategy and has rules to their strategy, luckily our rules save us. That's why, like I said, I'm not interested here. So, but at the same time, even I can't tell you definitively which way this market is going as of this second. We'd have to see what it does in this fair value gap. If it gives us a 1M bearish fair value gap and then closes below this range, then it's most likely pushing down. But again, I can't take a sell because according to my rules, once we have a bullish confirmation, I am not allowed to take a sell. But you can believe that they're going to hold it up here for a while too. There's no news today. There was no news yesterday. I believe there's no news tomorrow. So it's a very rare week with absolutely little to none in the way of news. So expect a lot of consolidation if you decide to be in the markets this week. Even minus the bullish confirmation, I'd prefer it to push down, just so it gives more cadence to the overall daily bias. We're also red on the 1, the 5, and the 15. Still no 1M bearish fair value gap created though, which means it could still take one more swipe up, if it does want to push down, that is. About 14 minutes left in our stream. Let's see if we get a push in either direction. There's still a play for the upside as well. We hit the NYC fair value gap, wicked it. We did get a bullish confirmation. We're still sitting inside this 5M bullish fair value gap. And it seems to be pushing up through this 5M bearish fair value gap. But just the PO3, power of 3 that we're seeing here, the downside expansion model, just too muddy. You want everything to fall in alignment. You want there to be confluence all in the same direction. Not the higher time frame to match up with the lower time frame. About 10 minutes left in our stream. We get a crossover here on the 1M of the 20 and the 50. How much time was left? I'm just going to put this one up on the 5. So still 4 minutes, 28 seconds left on this 5M candle. See if we get a push regardless. 3 minutes, 59 seconds left. Remember, today is Tuesday. On a bullish week, Tuesday likes to set the low. Not always. There's a 70% chance that it could. So always be cognizant of that. That's another kind of confluence that adds to our bearish bias. when you have these days where there's no news, you'll see a lot of what's called seek and destroy, where it keeps creating relative equal highs and lows and then sweeping them. So that's another reason that this thing could just push down, take out all these lows that it's created. Because with this move right here, it took out all these highs that were created. So one last push down to take out these lows possibly would make sense. About 8 minutes left. Let's see if it gives us a bearish bearish 1M fair value gap. One minute left in this candle. Let's see if this is an immediate rebalancing candle, which then would create that push down that we're potentially feeling in our gut. 2, 1. And let's see if this 1M fair value gap stays open. Pretty much closed off immediately, unless it left a sliver there. Left a little sliver so far. Let's see if it did the same over here. No. But it did leave it open. So if we get a candle closure below this, that could be the push down. I believe this is the London. Oh no, this is the NYC opening gap on the 1M. So it could technically bounce off of this and head down. Matched up here. About 4 minutes left in our stream. I'd like to see it break this range. Right now it's back at that 1M sliver of a fair value gap, so it didn't, so it tapped it, but we got to close down here for this thing to push down, otherwise it could just push up. 3, 2, 1. So it's disrespected this fair value gap here. Unless we get an immediate rebalance and a push down, it could continue to push up from here. I'm not sure if we'll get that 13 seconds. Let's see. Until it closes under this white line, this thing could still push up. And it might want to. That's back at that 5M fair value gap. Two minutes left. So you can see it's playing both sides, you know. When you have this kind of muddied water, you just want to avoid it. Argument can be made for both sides. Even if it does eventually push up, you know, just nobody wants to wade through that. So we'll conclude our session there most likely. We'll wait for this candle closure, but please check us out on fractaleffects.com where we teach high probability trading. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know when we're live. We'll be live again tomorrow and Thursday. Also check us out on fractal.effects. That's both our TikTok and our Instagram. We're always posting educational material, certain information. Our blogs on our website are updated weekly as well. Please make sure you check that out. And the Market Watch is updated daily with market information. 36 seconds left. And that's